Pinocchio. In a small village in Italy, there was an old puppet maker named Geppetto who lived with a talking cricket. Geppetto always wanted a son, so he used his puppet-making skills to make a young boy, and he named him Pinocchio. After he finished, a fairy appeared. The fairy waved her wand, and little by little, the wooden puppet started to move. Pinocchio came to life. The fairy told Pinocchio that if he could learn how to be good, then she would turn him into a real boy. Geppetto sent Pinocchio straight off to school to learn how to be good. The talking cricket promised Geppetto that he would look after Pinocchio. On the way to school, Pinocchio saw a puppet show going on. He wanted to watch the show too, so he traded his school book for a ticket. The talking cricket leapt and shouted and tried to stop him, but Pinocchio would not listen. Pinocchio loved the show, but the puppet master noticed him in the audience. Thinking that one of his puppets had gotten away, he grabbed Pinocchio and locked him in a cage. Poor Pinocchio was trapped for the night. But then the fairy appeared. She asked Pinocchio how he had gotten locked in a cage. Pinocchio didn't want to say that he had traded his school books for a puppet show ticket. So, he told a story about a mean old cat who had stolen his book and how he had chased the cat into the puppet show and as Pinocchio continued his story, he felt a strange tingle, and his nose began to grow. When the fairy saw that, she knew that Pinocchio was lying. Pinocchio promised he would never tell another lie. So, the fairy agreed to fix his nose and free him from the cage. The fairy waved her wand, and little by little, his nose returned to normal. Pinocchio was freed from the cage and ran home. But on the way, he met a boy named Candlewick. Candlewick told Pinocchio about a magical place called Toy Island, where children could play as much as they wanted. Candlewick told Pinocchio to go on an adventure with him. The talking cricket leapt and shouted and tried to stop him, but Pinocchio would not listen. Candlewick and Pinocchio set off for Toy Island together. All over Toy Island, there were children playing and laughing. Pinocchio and Candlewick played together. But soon, Pinocchio noticed that Candlewick was gone. And who was this donkey in his place? It was Candlewick! Pinocchio touched his own head and felt something very strange. Oh my! Pinocchio had donkey ears too! A little mouse came by and told him that boys and girls who play too much on Toy Island turn into donkeys. The fairy appeared again and asked Pinocchio what had happened. Pinocchio knew that he could not tell another lie. So he told the fairy the truth about what he had done. Pinocchio promised that he wouldn't play all the time. He would work hard and play only after all of his schoolwork was finished. The fairy waved her wand, and little by little, the donkey ears disappeared. Pinocchio returned home, but no one was there. The fairy said that Geppetto was so worried that he went out to look for Pinocchio and was gobbled up by a giant fish. Pinocchio and the talking cricket ran to look for Geppetto. They got on a boat, but while they were searching, the fish found them. The giant fish opened his great big mouth and go! He swallowed them whole. It was very dark inside the fish. Pinocchio and the cricket were very scared. But then they found Geppetto. They were all happy to have finally found each other again. Before long, the giant fish became sleepy and yawned a huge yawn. Pinocchio, Geppetto, and the talking cricket took their chance and escaped from the giant fish's mouth. They returned home and found the fairy waiting for them. The fairy was happy that Pinocchio had learned so much. He learned to tell the truth, work hard, and play only when his schoolwork was finished. The fairy waved her wand. Pinocchio felt a tingle in his nose, a tingle in his chest, a tingle in his legs. Little by little, Pinocchio became a real boy. From that day on, Pinocchio went to school and learned many more things. He, Geppetto, and the talking cricket lived happily ever after. The end.